And I'm back. I know, at No Showdown Hoedown this past weekend. I apologize. It'll probably never happen again because I can't imagine I'm going to have to be the best man at too many more weddings. So we're back, and it's the Memorial, one of my favorite tournaments of the year. The only time a stat correction has ever helped me win way more money. When they gave John Rahm the 2 strokes at the end, jumping from 4th to 2nd in a showdown contest. The Lord was on my side. What's up, new guy? I'm the Degenerate75. I'm a PGA DFS content creator who has been playing PGA DFS at a pretty successful level for a very long time, and I'm here to help you get a little bit better at it. I'm not going to give you a single pick, but I'm going to teach you how to play the game. If that sounds like something that interests you, I encourage you to hang around. If you really like the cut of my jib, come check out the schedule. You're watching the course preview show right now, and of course the live stream Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Lord's time zone, the #1 watch stream in PGA DFS last week. Encourage you to be there. Go over everything you need to know before you finalize your lineups. Give away some prizes because we're not poors around here. And of course, Showdown Hoedown for round 3 and round 4 will be live this week for Friday and Saturday. So be there for that. I'll answer any questions you have, and we'll get you ready because Showdown be fun AF, especially at these ringer-ass courses like Muirfield Village. All right, let's get going. I guess I've already spoiled it. They are playing at Muirfield Village, which is in Dublin, Ohio. It's just northwest of Columbus, right? It is Jack's track. If you don't know who Jack Nicklaus is, well, first of all, you're very new to golf. Second of all, he's a really good golfer from the past, and he made this course. And it's always been a difficult course, but for the past 2 years, it's been even tougher, right? It underwent a renovation, which added nearly 200 yards to it. The course is notorious for punishing the hell out of you if you're not in the fairways. Very small greens, luscious, thick rough, and you're putting on glass. So it's like it's a true test, right? You're not gonna. You can implode on this course very easily, Bob. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? And if you're not playing well in all 4 facets of the game, you have no chance at winning this, right? This isn't one of those ones where just the bomber can overcome it, or just the guy that picks up 9 strokes putting can win it. You're going to have to do all 4 parts of the game well, which really starts to limit the kind of guys you're going to want to look at. But at the same time, I think this week you're going to hear a lot of people say this: well, this is a long course, and you're going to have to be long off the tee. Actually, Bob, I think it's quite the opposite. A lot of the guys who've had success here are either bombers who have clubbed down or just short to medium hitters, right? This is a real second shot course, right? A guy that's really good with long irons, who is constantly playing from the fairway and has a little bit of short game. That's the kind of guys I want. Like just off the top of my head, I think of a guy like Benny Ann, right? Or even I hate to say it, Kevin Strillman, after I just teased him last week. Guys like that. If you're playing from the fairway and you can stroke along, of course Emiliano Grillo, but no way I'm playing Grillo after he just won, right? Those are the kind of guys I want, because this is not a bomb and gouge course. You cannot bomb and gouge this course. It is the toughest course out of the fairway rough of any course on the tour. Not to mention you have no green to land it on, and if you do somehow hit it out of the fairway rough and land it on the green, you're never going to get it to stick, because these greens are going to be firm and fast, and it is going to roll off every single time. Okay, and there's been no rain in the Columbus area, and there's no rain expected this week, so you are going to get a firm and fast course. Not to mention when they did the rehaul back in, I think it was 2020 or 2021, they put the sub air under all of the greens, so they could dry it out even more if they wanted, if they did get rain. So this course is going to be brutal. It is a typical par 72 in that it has 4 par 5s and 4 par 3s, which is nice because par 5s are usually the one refuge you can get from this course. But these par 5s I think they're going to be a lot like we've seen the past couple weeks at what did we just have last week? Charles Schwab and the PGA Championship before that, where some of these par 5s you just can't get there in 2. Matter of fact, these par 5s have some of the lowest go for it rates, which is when you're hitting your second shot, how often do you go for the green and how often do you lay up? And these have some of the lowest percentages. So a lot of these par 5s just turn into really, really short par 3s, if you know what I mean. Like 100 yards out is where a lot of guys are going to be hitting their third in, right? You can see the par 5s range from 547 on the short end up to 588 on the long end. They all have relatively high birdie rates, over 30%, but very low eagle rates, which should let you know that guys aren't getting there in 2 very often, right? Because you got to get there in 2 if you want eagles. By the way, if you don't know that, you need to learn a little bit more about golf, bro. From there, every single other hole on the course plays above par except one short par 4. So that means 13 of the 18 holes are above par. So 13 of the 18 holes, you're scrambling your balls off just trying to make a par, and that is a good score. You hope that you can get 3 of the 5 scoreable holes, and all of a sudden you've had a really good round, Bob, because the winning score this week, I would guess, is going to be somewhere in that -8 to -10 range, right? A lot like we just saw this last week. It's going to be a struggle bus out there. You're going to have some lineups going to the weekend thinking you're live, and you're going to have some dudes fucking eject, bro. You're gonna moonwalk, right? As you can see, approach far outweighs off the tee as an importance. That doesn't mean off the tee is not important. It just means distance isn't important. You got to have good drives. You're going to have to be playing from the fairway. Around the greens is also very important. When you have small greens, you're obviously going to be scrambling a lot, so around the greens is important. But here's something I want to tell you. The difficulty around these greens, it is tough. They are chewy, chewy, chewy lies. I'll never forget when Jon Rahm hit that amazing chip on 16 a few years ago. He actually got the 2-stroke penalty, but he hit the incredible chip in for birdie, and then later they saw that he moved the ball in replay and he got a bogey. But it was an impossible shot, and that motherfather dunked it in there. But the point I'm trying to make is around the greens, the thick around, the rough around here is country thick, baby. That's why they're in Columbus, Ohio. And so you got to be factoring that in. And I think when rough gets really, really thick and a lot of these guys are guessing, I actually, weirdly enough, think that shrinks it down. I think we saw this at the majors with guys like Victor Hovland. All of a sudden, he's solid around the greens. So some guys that maybe not great around the greens, maybe this is a week just nobody's great around the greens, right? So guys like Morikawa start coming into play. I'm not going to avoid guys simply because of their week around the green game. From there, of course, I'm going to want guys who are ball striking, because ball striking typically means that you are hitting greens in regulation. If there's one thing correlated to success this week, you've got to be having greens in regulation. You do not want your guys scrambling their balls off all day, because with how fast these greens are and how juicy this rough is, an unbelievable rate is like if you're getting up and down something like 70% of the time. Well, if you're doing that 10 times around, that's 3 bogeys right there, right? So and typically the getting up and down rate around here is around 50%, right? So you got to factor that in. You got to, if you don't have around the green in your model, especially around the green in tough conditions, I think you're missing it. Most of the damage is done on these long par 4s. They are very, very difficult holes. You can't just bomb it down there 330 and have a little 150-yard club in. It doesn't work that way. A lot of these fairways shrink down. You have strategic bunkers, and I've already told you about the long rough that edges each fairway. So no surprise that the majority of all shots come from 150 plus, right? 150 plus. Those are not short shots in, right? When I see my guy has 157, I'm like, well, he ain't birdieing this hole, even if he's in the fairway. And you can see that 22, 40, so 60% of shots are going to be 150 plus coming in here. So get ready for a lot of long irons. I would love a good long iron player. This would be a great HV3 course. I miss you, HV3. Okay. From there, as you can see, the cut line is typically very high, well above par. There's only 120 people in this field. This is an invitational. It's not a full field event. And the cut's still going to be T65 and tie. So I would expect something like 70 to 75 golfers to make it through the cut. And if there's only 120 guys, you're going to probably see something closer to 55 to 60% of the field make it through the cut. Okay, which, by the way, this is one of those courses that sometimes a 5 of 6 might be better, because you might have that one guy that makes the cut and then shoots 14 over on the weekend, right? So factor that in. You can see driving accuracy is very, very high here, but that has to do with the nature of everybody clubbing down and taking less than driver, right? Guys like Gary Woodland, guys like Tony Finau instantly come to mind of guys that I think are much better players when they leave that fucking driver in the bag. Okay. And then some guys, I think that that's their biggest weapon, and I think that they get a huge markdown this week. It's stuff like that, right? A guy like Victor Hovland, as good as he is with his mid to long irons in these key ranges here, his best weapon is his driver, and that's going to be largely left in the bag this week. He's just not going to be able to hit it on a ton of holes, and if he does, he's really playing with fire, and he's going to get himself in trouble. So some guys are going to get marked down for that, right? So if you want to know some guys who have historically played well here, well, Patrick Cantlay has won this 2 of the last 4 years. One of those was the year that Rahm had to withdraw for the frickin' whatever, COVID or whatever. He's like, I'm so rich, though. Okay, shut up, John. Jon Rahm is amazing here. That WD, so he should have a win, and a 10th. I mean, this course is just designed for Jonathan Ramathan. Just let him go 3-wood, long iron into every hole, and then he can putt, he can chip. He's just good at hard courses. Let's face it, long, hard courses, and this is a long, hard course. Jonathan Ramathan be very good at it. Old Donkey Dick Chuck, Jordan Spieth, Donkey Chuck. I told you not to play him last week. No one's going to play him this week, so he also has a very good course history here. Just very consistent. Doesn't quite have the top-end finishes that you want to see, but some really good ones. And then Siwoo. I always like Siwoo at courses he's comfortable with, and he has been ball striking. And if I told you I want some ball strikers, I mean it. I will tell you some early looking at the wind, which is pretty stupid to be looking at Monday, but I think we have an idea of what it's going to be. We're not seeing much rain this week. This is why I know it's going to be firm and fast. Furthermore, we have not a lot of wind in the forecast, especially for Thursday and Friday. So that should keep this course from being unbearable, where everybody's shooting over par. I think you'll see some guys get some -3, -4 rounds in there. Okay, with no wind, at least that's one less variable they have to deal with. All right, let's get over to contest selection. Some big contests that DraftKings put out this week. Let's see. I'm seeing if my guy updated me yet on mine. Nope, still no update, mother father. Okay, let's see here. We got the big $20 this week is pretty nice, All the winners of my contest will be playing in this with me. We'll be going for $250,000, but you know how I feel when it's a quarter up top. I just don't like the lotteries anymore. This big $5 has a tremendous payout structure. I'm just not gonna play in it, man. You got to know what works for you and what works for me. I like these. I like this 222, this leaderboard special. We talked a little bit about it last week, where if you play in this every week, your finishes go towards a cumulative total, and at the end of these 3 weeks, you can get bonus points based on how well you finished in the 222, the 40, and the $6. And notice they're all called the leaderboard special, right? The $200 single entry, another $200 single entry. I'll tell you, for all of you high rollers, this 555 this week, if you're ever going to play in it, this is the week. It is the nuts. Only 20% up top. Second place is 60% of first, and 10th place is 1/20th of first. Great contest structure. The 555 is awesome this week. All your $100 single entries are great. Let's see. Okay, I feel like we're missing some stuff here. If you're playing on a budget, the $3 20 max is always good. But once again, ask yourself, am I ever going to beat 30,000 people? I think the biggest trap people get themselves into is always chasing these big prizes. Just scroll down here to when the prizes get below 20,000, right? Total prizes. Get down here and go check out this $8 3 max. You know what I mean? $1,500, you'll be dancing in the streets naked, bro. Don't lie to me. These are such better contests down here. The $3 3 max, the $5 single entry. Go check those out. They're so much more sustainable. I know you want to have dreams that you're going to win $250,000, but let me just go and tell you, you ain't going to do it. So give the fuck up on it, okay? And of course, there's only 4 weeks left until the Fantasy Golf World Championships are here. If you want to get a ticket, time is running out. But let me just go ahead and tell you, these contests right here, you want to blow through all your money, you go chase them. I know a guy who is chasing these way too hard, and he'd be blowing through a lot of money. That guy is me. All right, I'm the king of seconds, and we're running. I think there's only 4 more weeks to get these tickets, and then it goes to qualifying. There's only 300 of them, and I think these are already up to ticket number probably 220 or something like that. So 75% done. So I would get in there if you want to try them. They have all kinds: the $5, the $10. Shit, they even got a 27 this week. Let's go. 44, and they got it all the way up to a $4,000 contest somewhere. Where's it at? The 30. Oh yeah, 39.35. So there you go. Once again, I encourage you not to play in those. But, you are right. If you're going to be that guy, I get it. They are fun to chase. If you're going to be that guy, this will be the week to do it. And, of course, you should go get in my contest, which DraftKings and my host are slow playing the fuck out of me on. And so I don't have the link, but hopefully that link will be in the description of this video. It's supposed to be 1,000 this week. We're going to get it filled. I would love to have it up. It's a $5 3 max. So go put 3 lineups in there. Don't make me wait till Wednesday night, sweating my balls off that we're going to finish it. I will tweet it out. It will also be in the description of this video, and of course I'll be selling it on the stream, so help me get that filled, assuming that my host ever gets back to me. And now let's go talk about players. By the way, this is still last week's players. You're like, wait, JT Poston's playing? Okay, before we do that, go check out my site, dgen75.com. It is the fastest growing community in PGA DFS. It is a place that has all the tools, special content that you need to help you get ready for PGA DFS. Of course, I have the best tool in all of PGA DFS, the Rosetta Stone. I have it for round 3 showdown, round 4 showdown, and of course, week long. People swear by it. It just has everything you need. You can't sit here and do this a million hours a week like me because, you have a job and a wife and kids and a life, right? I don't have any of that. So I can just sit here and be like, no, I'm going to look at stats. Okay. And this tries to break it down for you to help you make the best version of it. And of course, drop me a like and a subscribe if you would. The channel continues to grow and I appreciate every single one of you. All right, let's get over to pricing. I have not looked. Okay, I did glance, but I haven't studied it in depth. I did notice right off the top that Scheffler and Rahm being over 11,000 just makes the big guy so happy. With the way these two guys are playing just relative to everybody else, you've got to keep them over 11,000 every week. You've got to make it where you cannot put these two guys together in a lineup. And you have to make it that if you play one of these guys, the rest of your lineup suffers. And when you're constantly keeping them over 11,000, you're basically doing that. So hats off to DraftKings, at least on that point. So honestly, I think they should probably even be a little higher. And I think Jon Rahm should be 11.5. I think he should be more than Scheffler this week just because of the course history. So I think just right there, I think Jonathan Ramathan is going to be very popular at 11,000. You're going to get a slightly discounted price over Scheffner, and he has incredible course history. I don't think anybody's going to play Rory. Rory's biggest weapon is a big old driver, and this minimizes his best ability, right? From there, I think Patrick Cantlay, if he's not one of the 3 most popular owned guys this week, I will be shocked. He is playing well. He has an immaculate course history here. He's good at all 4 phases of the game. He kind of checks every box you want, and starting your lineup at 10,500 with a guy with that much win equity is going to make a lot of people feel comfortable. From there, I think Xander's going to get a little forgotten about. I don't think people like to pay over $10,000 for Xander in strong fields, but I'll tell you what, Xander's the kind of guy that I want, a guy that is good at all those phases of the game. Morikawa, probably going to be your big pivot up here. I think people are tired of this fucking loser. Everybody keeps playing and being like, but he's so good at ball striking. Yeah, but he just sucks, okay? But I will tell you this. If there is a course that fits him, weirdly enough, I think it's this course, right? He doesn't bomb it out there. He's great with those long irons. A lot of his around the green game can be offset here with how difficult the rough is. I hate it. I hate that I'm considering Morikawa, but I think he has to be on the table. I think Victor Hovland, the fact that he's not above Morikawa is just some weird bias. Hovland is playing unbelievable. He is good at long, difficult courses. I just don't get it. Now, what I really don't get is why Jason Day is 9,400. Jason Day is from this area. He lives in the Columbus area, and he's just always played like dog shit here. Always. And every year, like, he's got to play well, but he doesn't. He never does. And the fact that he's 9,400, the fact that Jason Day is above people like Hatton, Thomas, M, Fitzpatrick, and Spieth, like, what are we doing? So, Jason Day, I can't imagine anybody wants to play that donkey dick. Terrell Hatton, nice to see him finally getting priced up to where he should be, 9,300 instead of 8,400 like they always have him. And I think he's good. I just like Hatton at long, tough courses. JT, this is just crazy that JT just constantly down here in the low 9s and he just still never delivers. Is Sungjae hurt? 2 weeks in a row. Sungjae doesn't miss 2 cuts in a row like ever. So I'm worried about that. Fitz, last time we saw him was a huge bitch and 3-putted. I don't know if I've forgiven him yet, but we'll look into it because I do love Fitz at a long, hard course. Spieth down to 8,900, right? So you think, oh, he'll be chalked, but I don't think so. I think as a chalk donkey last week that missed the cut bad, and nobody's going to want to play him. And you know what? If nobody wants to play Jordan Spieth, I know one guy that will. It'll be me! So there's that. Cam Young, once again, another guy that just seems like his biggest weapon is normalized here, right? It's nerfed almost. So I'll worry about that. Decky, a ball striker. I like that. I think Ricky Fowler is going to fucking win soon, and it would just make sense he would win something like this. If Tigala's going to, can club down, he's another one of those guys that I like at club down courses. Corey Connors, yes, he royally fucked me at the PGA Championship. I'm ready to saddle back up with that Canadian fucker. Wyndham Clark, whatever. People want to pay $8,200 for Wyndham Clark. I'll just go play Sugar Shane Lowry right here, who is a much better player than Wyndham Clark. There you go. I said it. If that offends you, deal with it, Bob. Tom Kim, another guy. Long iron guy, I'm in. Siwoo at 8,000. Man, I like Siwoo. I think that's a lot of course history baked in there. Going from there, not touching Grillo at 7,800 coming off the win. Bradley, Woodland, Mitchell. This is going to be a very big chalk range. Don't forget Billy Ho won this bitch, like boat raced everybody. Was that just last year? Damn. Let's see. What else do we got here? Ropat. He fell apart on Sunday. Maybe get a discount. I like Ropat at long, hard courses. This is just a course that I think Chris Kirk and Ben Ann are great fits for. They're just really good long iron players who, from their second shot in, they're just such better players. And they're not long off the tee. So they're not losing much here by not being able to bomb it out there. Taylor Moore, bomber. I don't know if this is a great fit for him. Cage Lee. This is a good fit for Cage Lee. Let's see. Anybody else? Man, Taylor Montgomery. Remember when everybody used to pay $9,500 for that guy and he'd still be 18%? How the mighty have fallen. Brother Seamus? Patrick Rogers? I don't know. There's Steven Yeager. Everybody loves that guy. Anybody else really out of line? Eric Cole. I'm still a little salty at him. Kevin Strillman. The Strills. Top 10. Top 10. Hashtag sleepers. Anybody else? Dude, short putter Mark Hubbard. I don't know. Okay. Oh, no, Robbie Shelton. He's going to win a tournament. You heard me. He's going to win a tournament in the next year. You heard it here first. He started out, I don't know where he finished last week. I know he started out hot fire. My boy Chris Goddard up. Boomer Sooner. All right. Oh, Brant Snedeker's back? I used to love Brant. I used to play with so much Brant Snedeker, man. So much. All right. And then you can see there's not a lot of true Poltergeist. Poltergeist is in here. He's back. There's just, there's a couple slapdicks, KJ Choi, guys like that. But generally speaking, you're just not going to have a bunch of slapdicks. There's only 120 guys in this field, right? So a lot of these guys down here in the low 6,000s are like real players. Like Troy Merritt is a real player. Dylan Fratelli is a real player. Justin Lauer is a real player. Lonto Griffin used to be a real player. So anyways, we'll have to look. Once again, hopefully my contest gets out. Please join it. It's a $5 3 max. Toss 3 lineups in it. Let's continue to grow. I want to get 1,500 by the U.S. Open. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come check out dgen75.com. I hope you've enjoyed this show. I will see you Wednesday night at 7 p.m. in the Lord's time zone for the emergency stream. I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope you enjoy this outro.